estamos aquí con Ben de Royal Blood. Ben, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling being back in Mexico? You're gonna be in Monterrey. Correct me if I'm mistaken. This is your first time in Monterrey, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's actually only our second time ever in Mexico. Um, so yeah, we only played the Corona Festival a couple of years ago, and the fans in Mexico are unbelievable for us. They have, you know, the people at the very start have been waiting so long for us to come to Mexico, and yeah, we feel very excited to be coming back to doing our own show. Well, I mean, when we went to Corona Festival, as soon as we landed, we knew that we wanted to come back.
Of course. And what are your expectations for Monterrey? You're gonna be at Pal Norte, which is the biggest festival here in the north of our country and the biggest in our city. So how does it feel to be a part of this?
Amazing. I mean, yeah, our fans, as I say, our fans in Mexico are unbelievable, and so to be able to play, we've only ever played Mexico City, so to be able to travel in Mexico and play somewhere else is unbelievable for us.
You're playing on Sunday, and you and Placebo are like the two most expected and anticipated rock acts. How do you take this responsibility?
We're just going to turn up and do what we do. We're going to have a lot of fun, and yeah, just expect, I guess, some rock and roll, some and just having a good time because we're going to be there having a good time.
Of course, and speaking of rock and roll, what can you tell us about Back to Water Below? I've noticed it has a heavier sound, and I also know it was the first album that was completely self-produced. So how was this like?
Yeah, amazing. It's we've always had our hand in the production through all of our albums, but this one just felt very organic. It sounds like um how the band's progressed, and it sounds like that time period for us, if that makes sense. It's like Back to the War Below is how we wanted Royal Blood to sound, a year ago. And so, it's been a year since almost a year since that's come out. So we've already started progressing and playing live shows and playing these songs live, and it's already yeah, it's already developing us into what we're going to do next.
Of course, and we can listen to different moods throughout the album. Like we have heavier sounds, and then we have songs that are more mellow and profound. What's the song from this record that means the most to you?
Um, there's a few, but I think the song "Waves," the last track on the record, was it was like the full stop of the album. We didn't have an ending to the record, and as soon as that song started to develop, it felt like that we were onto something quite special, and it's really fun to play live as well. That song.
Of course, and There Goes My Cool sounds very Beatles-like. I don't know if you've been told this before, but were you influenced by them on this record?
Absolutely. I mean, the Beatles are my favorite band, so it's hard not to be influenced by them. But yeah, a lot of it was actually There Goes My Call was a lot more like 70s influence for us. It was more like the David Bowies and like T Rex, and yeah, it's a song that we never thought we would ever make. We didn't think Royal Blood would ever go in that direction, but yeah, it's quite epic when we play it.
What was the influence for this record? Like, what do you want to achieve sound like?
I don't think we were too sure. I think we just followed whatever felt exciting and new and fun, and yeah, we always want to progress and do different things with Royal Blood, and I think using a lot of piano and other instrumentation that we've not done before brought out songs in us that we have always been in us, and always things that we liked and been inspired by, but never really showed with Royal Blood. Yeah, it's just it was a moment to reflect on what we've done in the past and push ourselves to do something different.
Of course, like stepping out of your comfort zone for a bit.
Yeah, in fact, it was kind of like the opposite, really. It was like stepping back into our
Oh,
comfort
okay.
zone. I think because I think the Typhoons record, was a bit of the step into the unknown, where it was a bit more of a disco influenced record and a studio album where we wrote it during the lockdowns and COVID and all that, and so we never knew if we were going to be able to play that live. And so this one, when we did start playing things live again, it felt like it felt very natural to us. And Back to the Water Below was coming from being, the last record, Typhoons, where we were all in our houses and not being able to go out, to this kind of freedom of all being together again.
And what would you say are your top five artists of all time?
Oh, the Beatles, um, Queens of the Stone Age, Jeff Buckley. Oh gosh, it's got to be something with Dave Grohl in. I think the Foo Fighters are a
Yeah,
big influence on me. And gosh, I mean, there's so many.
of course, it's hard to
I,
pick just five.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Amazing. And now that you mentioned Queens of the Stone Age, you've worked with Josh Homme. What was the
We
like?
have we amazing. We got to tour with Queens of the Stone Age a lot in 2017, all around America, and became good friends with those guys. And yeah, we decided to work with Josh on a couple of tracks and see how that went. And it was a lot of fun. He opened our eyes to a lot of cool things that we could do with the band and recording, and he was just a good energy to have around. And we are going out with Queens of the Stone Age again this year as well, so we're really looking forward to that.
Amazing. And are you familiar with with Mexico's rock scene by any chance?
I've only ever been to Mexico once, so I'm not very. The culture and the music that I heard when I was there was unbelievable, and I'm very excited to come back and hear some more.
You've like crossed paths with a band called The Warning. They are actually from Monterrey. I don't know if you recall. What do you think
Yes,
of them? They are gonna be playing the festival the same day as you on Sunday.
amazing. Yes, we toured with Muse in Europe with the Warning, and they're yeah, great bunch of girls. And they rock. They
And
know how to rock. They know how to bring it.
of course, when you perform at festivals, do you usually just arrive in time for your set, or do you like to stay around like watching other sets to meet new bands?
It all depends on how much time we get to be at the festival, and but I like to go as early as I can and catch some of the bands and soak in the atmosphere.
Of course. Well, we hope that you can like catch up on The Warning and other amazing acts that we're gonna have here on Sunday. What's your
I'm
favorite?
sure I will.
What's your favorite thing about playing in a festival, especially one as huge as this one?
I like that everyone is there to have a good time. Everyone's there for one thing, and it's to listen to good music and let loose and just have feel free and dance and do whatever you want, really. And I feel that festivals are really fun and they should be celebrated.
Speaking of festivals, let's talk about a very full circle moment when you performed at Glastonbury. You were wearing an Arctic Monkeys shirt, like, giving back to 10 years ago that Matt Helders, their drummer, wore a Royal Blood shirt and gave you guys a lot of exposure and like all these expectations. How do you take this moment? Like 10 years later, you are playing before them, you're wearing now this shirt.
Yeah, it made me feel old. That 10 years went very quickly. But it's amazing to be able to walk on that stage at Glastonbury and yeah, perform in front of that many people. It's really special.
And speaking of 10 years, it's gonna be 10 years since you dropped your first album. Do you have any plans of honoring this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it feels crazy to be 10 years on, and we're still so proud of that album. And and what it's done for us. And we'll be, yeah, I think we'll celebrate it in some way. We're still just discussing on what to do, and yeah, there'll be something though, I'm sure.
What would you tell to your 2014 self? Like, what would be the first thing that you would tell yourself if you could? Like, would it be an achievement? Would it be any advice? Like, what would you tell to that kid that wanted to make it the way that you've done?
I think I'd have just told him to sit back and enjoy the ride, because it's what happened was crazy and fun and unexpected, and it was about, yeah, just taking the moment.
And this is a fun question from a huge fan of yours named Paco. He's so excited to see you at Pal Norte. He's been waiting since 2018. He's a very good friend of mine. And he asked me to please ask you the following question. He wants to know, what were the bands that you listened to during your teen years? You know, we have those bands that shaped us, that made us who we are. Who would you say are these
Yeah,
bands still to this day influence you?
yeah. Nirvana, the Foo Fighters, Chili Peppers, the Mars Volta. I remember the first time I heard them, it was crazy. Gosh, Led Zeppelin, and then yeah, going back to like Thin Lizzy and Oasis, and I guess all these bands kind of come into my childhood. And then I really got into new metal as a teenager, so I started listening to Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and Korn, and yeah, that's where the heavier side comes from with my drumming, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, and it stays with you till this day.
It does. I still enjoy a bit of new metal.
And if you could revive one famous rock musician, who would it be and why?
John Bonham. If he was still alive, then Led Zeppelin would still be going, and I think he's the best drummer of all time. So John Bonham.
Of course. And you have a lot of fans over here in Mexico, but for those who are just discovering your music, what would be the, let's say, 5 songs that you would tell them to listen to check out Royal Blood?
Okay. Figure it out. Out of the black. Boilermaker. Trouble's coming, and pull me through.
And do you have any favorite to play live? Any song that you say, this one, it's always so fun to play live?
I like playing Boilermaker live. It's got a good groove and it's got a good energy and a good bounce to it.
And any message for the fans that are waiting for you in Pan Norte?
Yes, we cannot wait to be there. In fact, it's the first place that we're going to. I'll be leaving my home in a couple of weeks and flying straight to you. So we can't wait to be there. We hope that you come and join the party with us.